Imagine being told that the music industry is broken. Imagine looking at a world where millions of people download music illegally because buying music feels too expensive and inconvenient. Now imagine deciding that instead of fighting this problem, you're going to build a completely new way for people to listen to music. That is the story of Daniel Ek, the founder of Spotify today. Spotify is one of the biggest music streaming platforms in the world. Millions of people use it every day to listen to songs, podcasts, and audio content. But Daniel Ek did not start with a huge company. He did not grow up as a billionaire. He was a young Swedish entrepreneur who became obsessed with computers and technology. Daniel Ek was born in Sweden in 1983. From a young age, he showed a strong interest in computers. While other children were spending their time playing outside, Daniel was already experimenting with technology. He learned how to build websites and started making money from his skills while he was still a teenager. His early success showed him something important. Technology could become more than a hobby. It could become a business. Daniel continued building companies and working with technology. One of his early companies was Advertigo. He eventually sold the company and became financially successful at a very young age. But money was not enough for him. He wanted to build something much bigger. At the beginning of the 2000s, the music industry was facing a massive problem. People wanted music, but the internet was changing. How people consumed it. Illegal downloading was becoming extremely popular. Music companies were losing money. Artists were struggling with piracy. And consumers wanted a faster and easier way to access music. Daniel Ek believed there was a better solution. Instead of trying to stop people from using the internet, what if the music industry could give people a legal service that was easier than piracy? That idea became Spotify. Daniel Ek partnered with Martin Lorentzon. Together, they started working on the idea that would eventually become Spotify. Their vision was simple. People should be able to listen to almost any song they want without having to buy every song individually. The service would be fast, simple, convenient, and legal. But creating Spotify was not easy. The biggest challenge was not building the technology. The biggest challenge was convincing the music industry to trust them. Record companies had already watched the internet destroy traditional music sales. They were afraid of giving consumers unlimited access to their music. Daniel Ek had to convince them that streaming could become a new business model. This required patience, negotiation, and a completely different way of thinking about music. Spotify was officially launched in Sweden in 2008. At first, the service was available in only a few European countries, but people quickly started discovering something special. Spotify made listening to music incredibly easy. You could search for a song, press play, and start listening immediately. There was no need to download the song, no need to store huge music libraries, and no need to carry physical CDs. The internet had transformed music from something you owned into something you could access, and Daniel Ek was helping lead that transformation. But Spotify still had a serious problem. How could the company make money while giving people access to millions of songs? The answer was a combination of advertising and subscriptions. Users could listen for free with advertisements, or they could pay for a premium subscription and receive additional benefits. This created a powerful business model. Free users helped Spotify grow premium users, created recurring revenue, and artists and music companies received money through the streaming ecosystem. But Spotify faced another challenge. The company needed to expand. The service eventually entered major markets, including the United States. The American market was extremely important. because it was home to some of the biggest music companies, artists, and audiences in the world. Spotify had to compete with powerful technology companies and established music services. But Daniel Ek continued to focus on one thing. The user experience. Spotify invested heavily in personalization. Instead of simply giving people access to music, it wanted to understand what they liked. The platform began creating personalized playlists and recommendations. One of the most famous examples became Discover Weekly. Every week, users could receive a playlist filled with songs that Spotify believed they would enjoy. This changed the relationship between people and music. You did not always need to search for your next favorite song. Spotify could help you discover it. And that discovery became one of the company's biggest advantages. But Daniel Ek was not satisfied with music alone. Spotify expanded into podcasts and other forms of audio. The company started competing not only for music listeners, but for people's attention and listening time. This strategy helped Spotify become much more than a music application. It became a global audio platform. The journey was still filled with difficulties. Spotify had to deal with competition, licensing costs, artist concerns, changing technology, and questions about how much money should go to musicians and rights holders. The company also had to prove that streaming could become a sustainable business. Daniel Ek continued to bet on the future of streaming, and that bet changed the music industry. Today, streaming is one of the most important ways people around the world consume music. And Spotify became one of the most recognizable names in that transformation. But perhaps the most interesting part of Daniel Ek's story is not Spotify itself. It is the way he thought about problems. He did not look at music piracy and simply see millions of people breaking the law. He saw a problem with the existing experience. People wanted music instantly. They wanted convenience, they wanted variety, and they wanted access from anywhere. Daniel Ek realized that if the legal alternative could become better than the illegal alternative, people might choose it. That idea became one of the foundations of Spotify, and it teaches an important lesson for entrepreneurs. Sometimes the biggest opportunities are hidden inside broken systems. Instead of asking how to protect the old way of doing things, you can ask how to create a better way. Daniel Ek also understood the importance of technology. He knew that the future of music would not simply be about selling physical products. It would be about access, data personalization, and digital experiences. Spotify transformed music from something people purchased individually into something they could continuously access through a subscription. That was a massive change. But Daniel Ek's story also shows that success does not happen overnight. Spotify took years of development, negotiations, investment expansion, and experimentation. Behind the simple Spotify application we see today is a long history of difficult decisions. Daniel Ek started as a young programmer in Sweden. He built websites, started companies, sold a business, and eventually decided to tackle one of the biggest problems in the music industry. He did not invent music. He did not create the internet, and he did not create streaming. What he did was combine technology with a clear understanding of what people wanted. That combination created Spotify, and Spotify changed how the world listens to music. The story of Daniel Ek is therefore not simply the story of a billionaire entrepreneur. It is the story of someone who saw a massive change happening and decided to build the future instead of protecting the past. His journey reminds us that great companies often begin with a simple question: what if there was a better way? Daniel Ek asked that question about music, and the answer became Spotify. a company that helped turn music from something people owned into something people could access anytime, anywhere, with just one click.